everybody, and welcome back. Happy Wednesday. My day has been good. It started out with a morning ride with my mother. I had just recently restored a bike for her, and it's been like 25 years since she's been on a bicycle. So that was a lot of fun getting her back on one and riding around. I just came back from the library, got some cool ideas. Nice. Always fun. Yeah, it's been a good day. There we go. So yeah, we're gonna be doing another fun tour. But yeah, here, we'll jump on over to the other screen. There we go. So yeah, I originally rode this tour in August 29th. It was a good one. I started from the West Shore, and we rode all the way out to just shy of LeechTown. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the tour. The ride out there took about 2 hours. I did lose a little bit of footage on the way out there, which is unfortunate. I didn't even realize that the battery had clicked off. But yeah, let's get going. So I'm starting up at Veterans Memorial Parkway here. Let me know if that's too loud. Oh, thank you so very much. Yeah, I can turn this down a little bit. That's...
Where y'all off to?
There. How's that? There's a lot of road noise.
Oh yeah, way out, all the way to the end of the good.
Yo, Cuttlefish, welcome in.
Happy riding.
So right now, I'm currently riding alongside what is known as the Veterans Memorial Parkway. It's actually part of the BC Highway 14, and it's actually named the West Coast or Souk Highway. It's one of the southernmost numbered routes in the province of BC. The segment that I'm on, though, the Veterans Memorial part, is only about 3.5. It's like 3.53 kilometers long. But yeah, we're just riding along. I'm taking this route along the parkway to catch the most convenient trailhead for the Galloping Goose. We've talked about the Galloping Goose before, but I'll be updating you with some new information. They've been developing out this way so much. We've got a new Jeep dealership. I mean, it's been there for a little while, but bike lanes and streets like that spook you. Oh? How so? Oh, like where I'm in between like a right turn lane and a straight lane. And again, coming up here, I'm gonna be in between 2 lanes. Yeah, honestly, I don't mind it too much. I almost prefer it because then at least I'm visible. Whereas if I were on the very edge of the roadway, people tend to just lose me in the trees. Squeaky brakes. But yeah, we're starting this ride at like 11:20-ish. Again, some of these metrics are not perfectly accurate. I'm having to try and align things as best I can. What you were just hearing might have been a vehicle behind me, but yeah, my brakes were also squeaking a bit. Hopefully the road noise isn't too bad. Yo, anyways, welcome in. Happy Wednesday to you. What am I recording on? So the footage is recorded on a GoPro Hero 3. So yeah, we're still coming along the Veterans Memorial Highway here, or Parkway, but we're getting pretty close to where I'm catching the goose. I mean, it wouldn't, not really. I probably should have been thinking ahead of time to just disable things like that, because there's no point for a stream like this. But yeah, here we go. We're finally getting onto the goose here. Honk honk. Right. Yeah, the guy riding on the wrong side of the path. A little annoying, but it is what it is. I like these nice little gravel trails. Most of the stuff I guess I've been doing, yeah, we've been all on pavement the whole way, right? Be polite, stay right, and then call out when you're passing. And that was high temps for the time. Now it's definitely lower than that too. But yeah, because this is back from August 29th. So this was like the peak of our heat wave. So all of these buildings we're seeing on the right, 20 something years ago, that was where my high school was. It was torn down to much cheering, and now they've built apartments and a mall. There's a mall in behind those apartments. Lots of people out. But yeah, sorry about the shaky footage. It is head mounted this time, which should help stabilize it, but it is also rough gravelly roads. But yeah, we're just starting the goose here. So the Galloping Goose is a really beautiful multi-use trail that used to be a railway line. It stretches for 55 kilometers all the way from Victoria to the ghost town of LeechTown. It was originally built during World War I as a freight railway. The Galloping Goose is part of the Trans-Canada Trail, which connects trails across the country. The trail was named after the local gas-powered passenger car, number 15813. It ran on the line from 1922 to 1931. You to live in a place called Leech. It looked kind of neat from what I could dig up. I highly encourage you guys to look up some of these places that we're talking about and seeing today, which is why I don't want to give away too much information, because that's part of the fun of going out and learning this stuff for yourself. Although maps still show LeechTown as being the end of the trail, the area has actually been restricted since 2007 as part of the Greater Victoria water supply. In 2010, a warning sign and a locked gate were erected before the end of the trail. LeechTown itself is no longer accessible. But yeah, on this part of the trail, we're passing through the district of Colwood right now. We'll be heading into Metchosin pretty soon, but Colwood is pretty cool. Nice little cozy place. Colwood is a city on Vancouver Island to the southwest of Victoria. Victoria is the capital of British Columbia, by the way. Colwood was incorporated in 1985 and has a population of approximately 19,000 people. Colwood lies within the boundaries of the Greater Victoria Area, or the Capital Regional District, also known as the CRD, in a region called the Western Communities, or better known as the West Shore. Set along more than 5 kilometers of oceanfront, it is a fast-growing seaside community. It is one of the 13 component municipalities of the Greater Victoria area. And this is weird. So it jumps us off of the trail, and then we have to do this weird little jaunty dog leg thing here, where we coming up onto the sidewalk and riding up to the intersection. And there's no easy down where we came off of the trail. It's just a sudden curb on one of these little easements like they have at the corners. So yeah, we're gonna be riding into Metchosin pretty soon here, pretty much as soon as we cross the road. Motorcycles. This route is also very popular. People coming back and forth around here. Building just to the left of our peripheral there was the number 2 fire hall. Building right across the street from us currently is Green Man Bicycles. They're pretty cool. Usually up on his display, he's got a couple bikes made from bamboo and other natural materials, all like glued and bound by resins and stuff. It's some really cool stuff. Yeah. Wooden wheels, or at least wooden wheels with the rubber air-filled tires, so wooden hoops. They're pretty cool. I believe they have a website, possibly heavy. No, they can be pretty light, especially when they're done with like the bamboo for the main tubes. And yeah, see, now we're finally back onto the trail here. We're coming into a little area, little fairgrounds, where they have a local fair and our local rodeo. I will call it out as we come up to it. But yeah, you should definitely look up Green Man Bicycles online. I'm sure they have a display. So yeah, these big open fields on our right are for the Luxton Pro Rodeo and the Luxton Fairgrounds. They even do blacksmithing displays here, a lot of old farm equipment. Like they'll demo running equipment. It's pretty cool. Really neat place. And I believe, this still falls within the district of Metchosin. That's terrifying. What's terrifying? The farm equipment. It's actually really neat. I'll have to find out when it's running again and see if I can get some footage. But yeah, the district of Metchosin is a municipality and community in the Greater Victoria on the southern tip of Vancouver Island. In Greater Victoria, it is a coastal community adjacent to the Strait of Juan de Fuca. Metchosin is part of the Western Communities and is also, one of those 13 regional municipalities. Here's a fun one. The origin of its name is a straight Salish word. Smets Chosen, meaning place of stinking fish, or place smelling of fish oil. So, yeah. Don't you just want to live in Machosen now? It is actually a really lovely place. It's very agricultural in its layout. Lots of little hobby farms and big open fields. A lot of the ride does look like this, though. These wooded corridors. That's what the river bayou should be named. But yeah, they're slowly starting to develop Machosen. Rough and bouncy roads. When it rains before and after as well, it smells fishy. Oh no. But yeah, we're only about 7 kilometers out from where we started. But it was a beautiful day. I love all these fields. When you get out here, the air is just fresh. It doesn't hold up to its name. Not so much anymore. I mean, the further out into Machosen and towards the actual coast, yeah, but right here along the Goose, it's very agricultural, so it's just very green. It smells very earthy. It's like there's fish in the water. Oh no. Skyfish. But yeah, the roads out here are always nice and quiet. I did this ride, one of the first times I ever did this ride was, I was probably 10 years old, and I rode out with my parents and a couple family friends. It was a long ride, and I mean, we're in for a long haul. But yeah, as you can tell, it was a beautiful day. 24 degrees, nice and sunny, lots of shade. I had snacks, I had water, and the map, just off to my left here, so the little green dot is where I am. We started at the rightmost tip of that line. We are traveling to the leftmost tip of that line. We are currently looking at the elevation. We're currently kind of descending. We're going downhill. But yeah, we're now starting to get into... Well, no, I think by this point we're still within the reaches of Machosen. But after Machosen, we will be heading into Souk. Awesome little place. My grandparents growing up had a place out in Souk for like the majority of my childhood. So I grew up pretty familiar with, or at least the East Souk bounds. And then a friend of mine ended up moving out into the actual city/town of Souk. So I would go out and visit pretty often. I'd be busing. There's no way I'd be riding out to Souk. Well, actually that said, one day I did skateboard all the way from my house here in Langford at the time, all the way out to Souk. That was an adventure. Okay, yeah, I recognize this intersection. We are still most definitely within the confines of Machosen. I like that they've got this controlled intersection in there now, though. Growing up, it is more like you get to one side of the road and cross when you can, hope for the best. I'm having some issues with my clips. There's some lovely little like housing communities in here too, and lots of doggos. I think we're getting pretty close to the point where the battery died and I didn't notice. I'll be sure to properly call it out, because yeah, we ended up losing a little while, like a little section of footage. But again, a lot of the early part of the ride does all just look like this. It's not until later where we actually get out by the waterfront and whatnot. It's just unfortunate because we did lose footage of a very, very large group of cyclists riding past me. And it was awesome seeing so many people all at once. Yeah, so many. Another thing that you will occasionally find out on this section of the Goose and further out, people on horseback. You are allowed to ride on these trails. Pretty much from the point we passed the Luxton Fairgrounds onwards. Yeah, there's several signs at the junctions wherever you enter the trails that have, they're like a little triangle showing the right-of-way. Bicycles yield to pedestrians. Everyone yields to horses. I'll have to get a picture of that sign, because I don't think I could recreate the sign if I tried to draw it out myself. The only downside, like, it's cool finding them and seeing them out riding. The only downside, trying to point out the kilometer signs. The only downside to having horses on this trail, they're not expected to pick up after their horses. So you get piles of horse poop that we just rode past. We make people pick up their dog poop, especially out on these trails. I mean, stepping on dog poop sucks. Riding through dog poop really sucks. It's easy enough to step around horse poop. Accidentally riding through horse poop, they're big enough piles that they can cause an accident. And yeah, these bridges are always very bumpy. I don't know if you can hear me talking to myself on camera. I call things out every now and then. But yeah, I always try and call out ahead of time, let people know that I'm passing on their left or whatever. Yeah, here's some like horse paddocks and all that. There's a lot of farms out this way. Some stables. Cyclists, stop and dismount. Sure. I'm walking. See? Steppy, steppy, step. There we go. Steppy step. I used to drive along this road all the time to get out to my grandparents' house. The road that we just crossed, that is. More horse piles. I have ridden a horse a grand total of once for a friend's birthday party. It was the most awkward thing ever. It was neat though. I'm, I guess, glad of the experience because I can say I've ridden a horse. But like, damn. What's damn? Preteens? Preteen or early teen. Yeah. It was interesting. It was mostly we were inside an arena rink thing. We kind of just get the gist of it, ride around in circles, and then yeah, so there's our cutout point. We lost a bit of the trail there, which is unfortunate. I feel like horseback riding is a common thing. I mean, it kind of, especially out here, because yeah, horses are popular. People like horses. But yeah, at this point, I think I can safely say we are now within the bounds of Souk. You rode a lot as a kid? Okay. Neat. But yeah, after we learned the gist of it, we did a short little guided trail ride. It was neat. Can't say it's for me though. So yeah, as we start riding into like the district municipality of Souk, it's also on the southern tip of Vancouver Island. The actual city of Souk, or a town of Souk, is 38 kilometers by road, or 24 miles from Victoria. It's the westernmost of the greater Victoria's western communities, and it's kind of like, yeah, to the north and west of the Souk Basin, which I believe is what it's named after. There's a few well-known destinations out in Souk. There's Whiffin Spit, or Whiffin Spit Park, the Souk Potholes Regional Park, and the Souk Potholes Provincial Park, which is just adjacent of it. Lots of cyclists out. And then, yeah, there was a forest fire out this way, or a little further out this way, not too long before I came out on this ride. So we'll be seeing some evidence of that. It's just so lovely out here. We're starting to, we're still coming down in elevation. Further down the trail, we will be coming up along the actual Souk potholes. I can't remember. Why am I pulled over here? What am I doing? Gloves. We're close enough to the water that there's just a slight chilly breeze. The sun's nice and all, but we're in enough shade and we're moving enough that it is just getting a little chilly. I was having some issue with my my clipless pedals. I've since fixed the issue. I have no more problems with them. Man, we've only gone about 18.5 kilometers at this point. And it was, I think it ends around 40 something is when I get to the Red Gate. There's a lot of little awesome parks as you ride along here too. There'll be like lots of little offshoot trails that you can hop on and off of to go to. There's Matheson Lake that I can think of off the top of my head. Roche Cove Park. The area is just an awesome base for visiting the wilderness parks of Vancouver Island's southwest coast. The West Coast Trail, the Juan de Fuca Provincial Park, which include the Juan de Fuca Marine Trail. There's beaches near Souk, including Sandcut, French Beach, Fishboat Bay, China Beach, and Mystic Beach. The ones that I know of well enough are Mystic and French Beach, and they are beautiful. Like, no words to properly describe those two places. You would really just need to come out and visit them. And then, yeah, as we've discussed, the Galloping Goose Regional Trail, part of the Trans-Canada Trail, does run through Souk. and it will go as far as LeechTown, the former site of the Gold Rush town, circa 1865. Yeah, such a lovely, lovely day. Yeah, now we're pretty quickly descending now, which means we're getting to the point where we're gonna have to start riding up again. Just love all the trees. But yeah, by this point in the trail, there's definitely more of that like fresh sea air. You can definitely tell that you're getting near the water. It's also getting a little windier too, which is kind of nice. Lovingly yell at it. How so? I'm now intrigued. Boy, be zooming. He had one of those nice electric gravel bikes. Actually, the way I now have my bike set up would be perfect to redo this trail. I just don't have any desire to tell the bees they're doing a good job and get excited to see them. Okay, yeah. It's so hard to tell some of the like gradient. So yeah, right now we're doing a fair bit of climbing up again, and now it's leveled. We're going down again. There've been so many bees in the wild daisies in my backyard. Aw, oh jeez. I can't tell, are we getting close to Matheson Lake? Or did we end up losing that part of the footage? We'll also be taking a short break here in about 7 minutes. But yeah, you can tell, as we get further out towards Zook, the temperature just keeps dropping. We started at 27 degrees Celsius, and we're currently at 18. Kids in little trailers. There were so many families out. Look at all these kids, right? Oh, yeah, see? You can just barely see some water through the trees there. But yeah, this trail, which goes on and on and on and on and on, really just has to be experienced if you can. And there's so many amazing like bike rentals and whatnot that you can do. But just so many amazing views. And just being out in all this nature. And yeah, we just passed that little bench on the side there. Just so you can look out into the great expanse. Okay, yeah, I think that what we're passing now must have been the Matheson Lake area, because there were some larger trailheads coming from it. Here we go. Yeah, we're only roughly 18 meters above sea level right here. We do get a little lower, but not too much lower than this. I don't know. I kind of do. I don't really yell at nature. I'll lightly converse with it while I'm out riding. It's kind of hard not to. Yeah, this part of the trail gets a little roller coastery. Again, the Goose used to be a rail line, so it stays pretty level and flat. I mean, there's lots of gradual sloping in both directions, but nothing too extreme. Now, there's a couple exceptions along this ride now. There were spots where there were trestles, and they removed said trestles. So now it's just a ramp downwards and upwards, and it's awful. But we'll see that when we get there. A couple more e-bikes just out having a ride. Like I said, it's a very popular ride. You'll end up seeing lots of people out, either like hiking it, jogging it, walking it, riding it alone or in groups. I love all the ferns. There's no just like bare ground other than the actual trail itself. It's hard to tell some of the glare, but yeah, you can see more of the water down to our left. Yeah, ferns are awesome. Yeah, now we're only like 13.5 meters above sea level, and it's pretty much just a steep embankment straight down that 13 meters. Just off to our left here. But again, it's a nice casual ride. Like I'm holding a pretty level heart rate, 110 BPM. So it's not like I'm putting a lot of effort in. I think I'm cruising roughly around the 20 kilometers an hour mark. Yeah, I'm just having such a nice chill time. My heart rate just keeps dropping. I'm just so relaxed out here. There's so much moss on the rocks. There's old man's beard in the trees. You can hear nature, you smell fresh air. But yeah, we're just right above the water here. And yeah, just lots of convenient benches, so you can just stop and soak in and enjoy and appreciate the views. That's me giving them the head nod and the wave. Oh, actually here, let's see. Can I? No, I can't really zoom in on it. Damn. But that's one of those horse signs off to the left. That's just saying pedestrians yield to horses, and cyclists yield to horses, and cyclists yield to pedestrians. And so we're currently at Roche Cove Park. It's so awesome that there's lots of these little convenient parking lots, little bathroom areas. They're pretty spaced, so there we go. Yeah, just getting myself resituated on the bike. But yeah, there's people that live all the way out here. So like at this part of the trail, we are in like some people's backyards. And then yeah, so I was talking about how they used to have trestles for the train. So that's my brakes. I have road tires on my bike. It is very steep. So yeah, that's me saying I'd rather walk it because I don't know that my tires would grip on the way down. I was pretty confident I could ride up, and I proved myself right. I definitely can. But yeah, that's all private land now. Yeah, having to walk down it and then getting prepped to ride up it. My heart rate just spikes again. Look at this, we're up to 169 BPM. I'm in my lowest gear, just spinning away, but trying not to like over torque, because I don't want to just have the back tire slipping. There we go, make it to the top, and I start to relax a bit. But yeah, there's one more of those that we have to go through. The second one makes even less sense to me though. But yeah, now we're like right on the ocean front, wide open, just cruising along. Yeah, we're like 12 meters above sea level at this point, 11 meters. The only thing really keeping me warm at this point is the sun itself, like getting out in the direct sun. Lots of bike packers, because past this point there's camping out at the souk potholes, so they're probably coming back from that, or if they pass us going the other direction, they're probably heading to that. But yeah, we'll see more evidence of the forest fires once we get to the souk potholes part of the ride. Apologies. Because yeah, we're still a little ways out from LeechTown at this point. But yeah, this is still definitely souk. Souk is pretty massive municipality. But yeah, this was such a lovely ride that day. Yeah, here's the second descent. 60 meters, steep grade, loose gravel. Like, stupid steep grade. Yeah, me just asking if I just need to hand up the hill or whatever. But yeah, this one makes no sense. So they took out the trestle, left us with this steep grade, only to go down to a smaller trestle. But yeah, this one I think was steeper than the last. It's shorter and steeper. Oh, that was awful. But yeah, from this point, things get a little more wild. Like you usually have to watch out for cougar sightings or bear sightings. Actually, on my way back from the Red Gate, that we'll see at the very, very end, ended up stopping to help a group of young bikepackers who ended up blowing a tire out as they passed me. So as I was getting them all patched up and ready to roll off, another person passed us, telling us to watch out as they had just seen a bear on the trail. Of course, it was happened to be in the direction that I had to go. Luckily, I think I mentioned I'd mentioned it in the Discord server the day of. So that was fun. Also, welcome back, Connell. How are you doing? Yeah, we're 25 kilometers into our ride from the West Shore Langford area. It should take like what, 40? Let's see. Google Maps. No, we're coming up to another group of cyclists here. I love this. Another amazing view. And yeah, man here taking advantage of the awesome bench position. Like, isn't that just beautiful? I mean, it's quite the walk to get to the bench, but it's worth it. So yeah, we should be looking at 40 something kilometers roughly by the time we get to the end of this video. But yeah, I guess as we get closer, I'll tell you some fun facts about LeechTown. LeechTown is at the confluence of Leech River into the Souk River at the southern Vancouver Island, British Columbia. The ghost town off BC Highway 1 is about 59 kilometers by road northwest of Victoria. The town was named after the river. The Vancouver Island exploring expedition led by Robert Brown included Lieutenant Peter John Leech of the Royal Engineers. Leech, a former engineer and astronomer, was responsible for documenting the resources discovered. Later, following observations of gold in July of 1864, a tributary of the Souk River was subsequently named the Leech River. Yeah, here's another nice little inlet here. I think there's even some boats moored out here. Yeah, we briefly see that. So we're still in Souk. We don't hit LeechTown until we pass Souk, but we might as well be talking about LeechTown. Yeah, we're still got a little ways out to go. We're not even yet 30 kilometers out yet. Lots of little ones, lots of families. Yeah. So we're about to cross a highway that a lot of people call the Sukahala. People like just stopping right ahead of me trying to sprint across just so I'm not getting stuck behind the wheel or holding them up on the hill. But yeah, from this point, we now kind of gradually continue to climb. I don't get the point of that bench though, because you end up just kind of sitting and overwatching the highway. But yeah, soon we start to get far enough away that we don't hear so much of the highway sounds or the sounds of Souk anymore. So let's get back into some more of that fun history. So, Leech was later the city engineer for Victoria. John Foley made the initial gold discovery, and Robert Brown spoke the phrase, "The gold will speak for itself." However, traditionally, Leech has received credit for both counts. But within weeks, thousands of prospectors, many of whom were veterans of the Fraser Canyon gold rush 6 years earlier, traveled from Victoria overland by trail or by steamer to Souk, and by mid-August 1864, 227 mining licenses had been issued. Within a month, over 500 miners were working claims and surveyed town site. Lots were for sale. By November, miners numbered 1,200. Year-end saw 6 general stores, 3 hotels, and 30 saloons. The 12-room Ararat Hotel was the most prestigious and was headquarters of Governor Kennedy while inspecting the mines. Although, as much as $100,000 in gold may have been extracted in the first year, by 1865, the rush was over, and by 1874, the diggings were largely deserted. At its peak, LeechTown and the neighboring Boulder City comprised of 4,000 people. But yeah, we're still kind of alongside the Souk Highway. You're off to bed now, Cuttlefish. Well, thank you so very much for joining us so far. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Rest well. Take care, and we will see you later. But yeah, being back near Souk, we're getting back more towards the farmland stuff. Again, it is a pretty bumpy road, or bumpy trail. Because yeah, it's just a gravel trail. A couple more of these road crossings, but not too many more. But yeah, we're about halfway, maybe. It's hard to recall. But yeah, it's still holding the nice 18 degrees, which was awesome. As now we start slowly climbing. It's a gradual ascent, so definitely putting in a little more effort. As you can tell, we're kind of holding around the 150 BPM heart rate range, so 18 degrees was plenty warm enough. But yeah, honestly, I cannot get across well enough. Just the experience being out here. They're nice and clear, fresh, and just so nice. So nice, so clean. It also gets a little more open. Like not as boxed in at this point, or from this point. It does close in again at a couple points, but yeah, lots of quarries out here as well. Out in the middle of nowhere, where people don't see them. And then right back into the woods again. I think at this point in the ride, I'm putting a little more effort in, because I'm trying to keep the pace up, just so I can make good timing. Because at this point in the trail, it is 1:06 p.m., but I've already been riding for 2 hours. Because it should take me about 3 to get there. Oh yeah. And then we come across this old man, just out having an awesome time on his bike. But he's a little bit all over the place, unfortunately. I didn't want to be rude and just try and pass him on the right in case he decided to move to the right suddenly. So I ended up keeping some distance behind him for a little bit and just kind of watching him, trying to figure out what he's up to. while I decide what I'm gonna do. But yeah, we're back in people's backyards again. More of these delicious blackberries. Like I said, they're just everywhere. They literally do just grow everywhere. So yeah, I finally decide that he's pretty much sticking to the left there. So it should be safe enough to declare what I want to do and just kind of proceed past him with caution. Yeah, these road crossings are getting like less and less marked because they're just getting further and further away from any habitated zone. Then I'm still gonna record September's tour or ride, though we do have a Truth and Reconciliation ride happening on the 30th that I will be going to, so I may just record that. But we will see. I have a few days. Not too many days, but a few. As I realize I've rolled into the parking lot, and the trail actually veers to the right, but then, so I've done this awkward little turnaround, only to realize once we hit the edge here that this trail just spits me out at the edge of the parking lot anyway. So I had a good little laugh about that. But yeah, how's everybody doing? How's everyone's Wednesday been? Oh, there's some more people at the parking lot there, offloading bikes, I believe. But yeah, I love it. All these little outstations, decent little bathrooms. The one thing I love about, like one of the things that I really love about them, the fact that you can bring your entire bike inside the washroom and there's still plenty of room to move around. So it's just a little extra secure. You don't have to worry about locking your bike up because it never leaves your sight. It rattles on my helmet a little bit. I'll have to see what I can do about that in the future. The family's out walking. Yeah, 32 kilometers already. Still got a little ways to go yet. We're getting there though. People really excited about seeing a GoPro on the trail. Itty bitty doggy. Yeah, we're back in the nice chill zone again. I mean, it's still all slightly climbing except for like here where we're directly flat coming across another awesome trestle. We have so many amazing trestles out here. You really do gotta come out and see these. So here I am, trying to ride as slowly as I can. And I'm standing up just so I can kind of get as best of a view as I can. But yeah, lovely trestles. Yeah. And more puppers out on walks. And I think it's from here where we will start to notice some of the evidence of the forest fires. I'll call it out if I start to notice it. Avoiding some of the big roots. Downside to some of these gravel trails is, yeah, the roots will just come and like push right up through them. Not a whole lot you can do about it. They will come out and like hit them with some pink spray paint so they're a little more visible. But yeah, it's so neat. When you're riding out here, wait, where was that another big cut? My apologies. We are 33.1, 93.2 to 3. Okay, so yeah, I must have just pulled over quickly to double check the battery so we didn't lose a lot. Apologies about that, but it's so neat. It's very easy to feel like you're the only one out when you're out here. It has a interesting way of making you feel so small in a good way. And still kind of just cruising around though. A little more effort, because like I said, from actually a little ways back, it's pretty much all uphill again. It's gradual, because again, they had to have a train had to be able to do this route. Trains don't really like hills. Yeah, we're at mile 40 or kilometer 46 there, as marked from Victoria, and it's 55 kilometers to LeechTown. And so yeah, little ways yet. But yeah, some people just flying down the trail, making good time, and then there's me just taking my time, soaking it all in, or at least doing my best to. We should be coming up to the Souk potholes pretty soon. Or at least we shouldn't be too far from the Souk potholes. That would be another good one. Make a trip out to the Souk potholes and go adventure the park. Because yeah, I'd be a little better prepared for that. And so is the bike. Oh, yeah, getting back into a little more of a climb. I tried to break it up, so like you've got these mostly flat sections, and then you've got the sections that have more of a slope. I still couldn't figure out what this giant W on a stick was. I still have no information about that. But yeah, there's more hiking trails that veer off from here. Like I said, it's just a very popular area for wilderness activities and tourism. But yeah, as we're now well into the afternoon, the temperature is going up slightly. We're at 19 degrees now. Nice toasty sun. I start ringing my bell at random just because I haven't seen any other riders in a while. And then, like I said, it is bear and cougar country, so it's just wise to announce your presence. Look, another wonderful trestle. They're so bumpy though. They're like my biggest love-hate thing about cycling in Victoria. We have a lot of those like old wooden style trestles. A lot of them count as historical structures, so they can't just tear them down without good justification, but they also can't modify them. They can just maintain them. And so the planks stay all like rough and uneven. It's cool to see them, but that said, it's not so bad going over them on the Horned Rat, my fixed gear bike. There's not a single thing that rattles on that bike because there just is nothing on that bike. It's so perfect. Every other bike I own, I go slow just because it feels like I'm gonna rattle my bike apart otherwise. But look at this. We're now 58 meters above sea level. We're almost as high as we were when we started, and we're gonna end up a fair bit higher by the time we end. So yeah, we're still within the confines of Souk. Like I said, we should be coming up to the Souk potholes. Yeah, see, now we're seeing more people hiking again. At this point in the ride, I'm definitely feeling it. I've been riding for almost 2.5 hours. Like the last 30 to 45 of that has been pretty much all uphill. Gradually uphill, but still uphill. Yeah. Okay, so the road down beside us, down to our left, is the Souk Potholes road. Like it goes into the parkway. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of like signs indicating turn-offs for to go explore the Souk Potholes Park. So yeah, 35 kilometers for me to come into the park. So a 70-kilometer ride in just transporting myself, if we wanted to do that sometime. Could be worth it. Go explore the old deer lodge. But yeah, at this point in the day, it's almost 1:30 p.m. We've been out for almost 2.5 hours. We are now within the Souk Potholes Park. I can't remember whether this is the regional park or the provincial park side. So, but yeah, they've got more facilities there. This is a emergency shelter building and educational building. It's just like an empty building. I think there's a couple benches in it. Yeah, now we're officially higher in elevation than when we had started. Yeah, lots of, I think the Sea to Sky Trail starts around here somewhere, or has an offshoot from here somewhere. Yeah, we're 69 meters above sea level, and we still got a ways to go. But yeah, you can kind of see, starting to see some scorch marks on the bases of some of these trees. The stuff immediately beside the trail was pretty well intact. There was definitely some areas just a little off the trail that I could see had been more scorched. It was really something to see in person. But yeah, it just goes on and on and on. I was enjoying myself for the whole ride though, for sure. Yeah, we're 36 kilometers out now, 77 meters up. Like I said, I was trying to make decent time, because even though this footage is gonna end at Red Gate, I still had to ride all the way back. Yeah, I'm now 80 meters above sea level. We're 36 kilometers out from where we started, and we're still not there. But yeah, the temperature is climbing again. Like I said, we ended up starting our ride off in Langford at 27 degrees Celsius at about 11:30. As we were passing through Machosen and Souk, the temperature had dropped down as low as 18 degrees Celsius. And now that we're kind of coming out of Souk, going past the Souk potholes and getting closer and closer to LeechTown, the temperature is starting to rise. It is now 1:33 in the afternoon, so 1:33 p.m. at this time of the footage. I had been riding for 2.5 hours now, in the saddle for 2.5 hours, just over. And yeah, we've been going steadily uphill for the last little bit. 45 minutes maybe. Basically, once we enter the district of Souk, it's all uphill again. But what's nice is once I hit Red Gate and get to turn around, it's all downhill. for at least a good chunk of it. And then I don't need to do nearly as much climbing on the way back, other than those two really bad dips that we had to pass on the way here. But I just ended up tackling those the same way I did on the way out. Walk down, ride up. Though, with my new tires now, probably be far more confident riding down and riding up. Lots of little like service hatches, because I think this is the only maintenance way all the way up this way. I think there's a couple roads that kind of lead out here, but not too many. Oh, there's a, can we get a good look? Hard to tell. It's a cat. They had two cats with them. They were officially the first cats that I had seen out on the trail ever. So definitely worth pausing for. Me talking to myself again, saying I hope that I captured. It kind of did. It's hard to actually get stuff moving in the peripherals. Even though I think I was capturing at 60 frames a second, it's still not quite enough. Or was I recording at 30? No, I'm pretty sure it was 1080 60. Yeah, 1080 by 60. Yeah, that's what I was recording at. As I start ringing my bell again, just, you know, in case there's bears. They do frequent the area, but at this point I know I'm getting close to my destination, so I'm just pedaling a little harder now, trying to keep that pace just a little higher up, because yeah, it was a long ride, and my destination is technically only my halfway point. I know it's not been the most scenic of rides, not a lot of points of interest, but hopefully interesting enough to prompt you to research these areas more, or plan to come out and see them yourself sometime. Even if you don't ride the trail, booking time to like catch a ride out to the Souk potholes, or checking out any of the amazing lakes we have out here. Yeah, you can see a little more scorching just a little off the trail here as well, though it didn't really capture on camera very well. Now 100 meters above sea level, 38.2 kilometers away from our initial point of origin. Oh yeah, here's some of the campgrounds. I believe these are still part of the Souk potholes campground. I love how it calls it the Souk. It's Souk, S-O-O-K. But yeah, down to our left is the actual Souk potholes. I'm trying to get a good view of them, but really hard unless you were on foot and you can kind of walk up to the edge. Now we're in the landslide area. So that sign was warning us, no stopping in the area. There will be a sign on the other end letting us know when we're out of that zone. But yeah, apparently this place is at higher risk of landslides. Another hiker with a dog. But yeah, the Souk potholes are beautiful. Very popular place to like come out and go swimming if you're up for the hike. 111 meters. So we did a fair bit of climbing, because we got as low as, what was the lowest I saw? Was it 12 meters? And then yeah, it's been a while since we've seen any of the actual like facilities or anything like that. I'm pretty sure there would have been washroom facilities back at the Souk Potholes Park. And then before that was Roche Cove, I believe. There may have been something in between there and Roche Cove, but yeah, the bases of these trees are a little darker. Everything's kind of dead out here. They got to the forest fires pretty quickly, but there's still a lot of damage done. But still lots of greenery too, so it could have been a lot worse. Yeah, none of it seems to register very well on the camera. You know what, that's absolutely fine. But yeah, you can kind of see some of the damage. Oh, there we go, we hit our 40k mark. We're almost there. But yeah, we're still pretty hemmed in by the trees, but looking up you can kind of see that it starts to open up a little more as we get higher up. But yeah, it was just a really relaxing experience riding all the way out on my own. There is one more rest area before the very end. I didn't end up stopping at it, but for anyone interested, there is one more rest area, and we actually found people there. So even though we hadn't seen other riders in a while, there'd been people just hanging out. Yeah, just lovely forested areas. And again, like, it's hard to describe just how fresh the air feels. Like, getting a good full lungful of it, it was just amazing. I think this had been my second longest ride of the year. Yeah, lots of nice little plaques and information stations. The trail is really well maintained. I don't think I've ever heard of sections of it being closed down. I mean, in the middle of the forest fires, they definitely closed the section of it down. Yeah, see, there's more of the Souk potholes there. Super Bowls. The Souk potholes. Oh my. Oh my god. The captions just don't know what to write. We're getting there. 41 kilometers in. What's that? 125 meters of elevation we've been climbing. We're getting there though. I'm definitely feeling tired by this point in the ride. And again, this is still only my halfway point. It's the end for our tour, or pretty much the end for our tour, but my halfway point for the day. And I think I had something going on after I got home, so that was fun. I think I ended up just being really low-key, low energy. It felt great though. Yeah, you may end up hearing me talking about how exhausted I get from doing these rides, but it is the best kind of exhausted you can ever feel. Yeah, we're getting pretty close in. You can tell because the bar by the distance meter actually does fill up, and it's almost completely full. 130 meters. Oh look, more people. We haven't seen people in a while. Yeah, a couple more people coming back from LeechTown. I guess they had left just a little before I did, or they'd been camping out further. There were a couple more off-branching trails, so I'm sure there was workarounds to get past where the red gate is. None that I know though, or none that I'm familiar with yet. But yeah, more of this lovely undergrowth. Just carpets of ferns, moss everywhere. I don't know, the place just feels very vibrant and alive, and just very grounding being out there. Another way of explaining it, it's very liberating being able to get yourself out to these amazing views and destinations. Like, you could do this on pretty much any bike, and then to that extent, it was really just my legs that got me there. My legs and my will, my determination, the belief that I could do it. Now, others may have some personal challenges that may make it difficult to do as well, but barring those exceptions, it is something pretty much anyone can do. Here we go. The final checkpoint. Yeah, they've got a little restroom station there, some picnic tables, covered areas. And then he kind of just blew past it. And I'm like, I know I'm near the end. It's just at the end here. It's just past here. I can get there. Yeah, so you can tell from this point it just becomes service road. It doesn't even really look like multi-use trail anymore, and that's because it kind of isn't. I mean, it is and it isn't, but a lot of the land out here was bought up by logging companies. Yeah, you can see some old logging equipment tucked off in the woods, but like, it's still maintained and still remains open for public access as a multi-use trail, but there's no more destination, and you'll see there's lots of like big fences and gates just kind of keeping you in. And yeah, because it's now a service area and they have other ways in. Yeah, see, we've got the fences here now. I think we're like 44 kilometers or 43 point something kilometers is what our final tally should be. So we're getting pretty much there. 240 something meters above sea level. And this last little bit is pretty much just all sloping up. I don't know why the GoPro's rattling so much on my helmet by this point, but the gravel pathways have been pretty rough. So yeah, this one red gate, but yeah, I'm still having a pretty chill time at this point, even though I'm having to put a fair bit of effort to keep myself going uphill, and I'm tired, but I'm just so thrilled that I'm so close to my finish line. I mean, look at that. I've been surrounded by amazing nature for like 3 hours at this point. It's hard not to have a good day. But yeah, it really does feel like I'm out in the middle of nowhere by this point though, even though I did just past that last checkpoint. Yeah, authorized personnel only. And there we go. You can just see it coming into view here. My destination, gate 55, 44 kilometers in. Or, oh, it's gate 50K. Yeah. But yeah, the path just kind of ends here. You used to be able to go further in and actually go and see the old foundations of LeechTown. But yeah, that's that. That was my ride all the way out to LeechTown from Langford. I hope that was able to entertain you all. I really enjoyed it. But yes, thank you so very much, everybody, for coming and hanging out with me, Discord Webhouse, this fine Wednesday evening. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday here on the Twitch. If you're enjoying your time and you want to check out past streams, clips, highlights, all those wonderful things, we do have a YouTube. You can check us out at Discordant Productions. If you want to be on top of my schedule and know what I get up to while I'm out and about, I do have a Blue Sky and I try and stay as regular as I can You can find and follow me over there at Discord Webhouse. If you've hung out this whole time and you think it'd be fun to hang out off stream, join us for community nights, game nights, movie nights, all that wonderful stuff. Join our Discord server, the Discordant space. All the links in all the usual places. So again, everyone, thank you so very much for coming out. I hope you had a wonderful time. Please remember to take care and stay awesome. Until next time, bye-bye.